Well, hello, the internet. My name is David LeBlanc, author and professional writer, and the purpose of these videos that I'm going to be putting up weekly is just my way of finding a way to engage and answer questions with my readers. Without further ado, I'm going to talk about 5 easy questions that you can ask yourself while world building, which will improve your works. In the world of fantasy and science fiction, the art of world building is crucial. After all, historical fiction is easy to believe because it's set in our world, while fantasy, science fiction, and comic book authors have the task of making the world they present feel like they are real. This is one of my daunting tasks while working on Dark Transmissions and Syndicate's Pawns, and I will no doubt continue to be challenged by this in future works as well. So here they are, 5 simple questions that can help flesh out your worlds. Question number 1. Who is in charge? What body of government is running your southern nations? Is it a democracy, a theocracy, a cruel dictatorship? If so, who are the ones on top and who are the ones on the bottom? Even if your tale is taking place in the crime-ridden alleys of Mega City 12 on the moon, who are the criminal families? Who is in charge will affect things like what is illegal, the power of law enforcement, and wars. Whenever I create a new world in the universe of the Jix 13th, I ask myself, who is in charge here? How did they get into power? Are they doing a good job of things? Are they loved by the people, or secretly being resisted by an underground network? The heroes of your tale should obviously wind up embroiled in whatever power struggle is taking place in this world. I don't mean to say they need to overthrow the Empire by the end of the story, but perhaps they foil a nefarious plan, one that puts a thorn in the powers that be side. This will also allow for interesting side characters. Is the Space Marine the heroes meet up in the abandoned temple loyal to the Empire's cause, or is she starting to doubt her life's choices? So before you start building your mystery city or alien world, ask yourself the question, who is in charge? Question number 2, what is the date? This one is a remarkably easy detail that will often get overlooked. How do the people in your universe keep track of time? What are the calendar dates based on? Are there significant historical events upon which the calendars start from? If so, what are they called, and what was their significance in the world today? Creating a calendar system allows the world presented to possess a sense of history. Are there 12 months in a year? 14? 12? 20? Do years even get measured? How many days in a week or a month? And how many seasons are there? How long are they? Question number 3. What is the biggest swear word? Every time I've met friends who speak a language I don't know, one of the first things I ask them to teach me is their swear words. Yes, I know it sounds incredibly childish, but this is something I have come to apply to my writing work. In a modern 21st century English context, the F-bomb might be the worst swear word, or at least the one that will get you into major trouble. But in the jungle planet of Root in the late 27th century, perhaps that won't be the case. I've noticed that a great deal of Anglophone swear words are based off of bodily functions, whereas French-Canadian curses are usually rooted in blasphemy and cursing the church. This leads to the crucial part in coming up with a swear word, which is, what does the swear word mean? Just by coming up with a nifty new curse, an author can reveal what is taboo and what isn't in the fictional society they are presenting. On a personal note, I try to limit myself to 1 use of the F-bomb per book. Otherwise, I try to find something different. Number 4. From top to bottom, what do people do for fun? What the godlike rich and poor do for fun varies widely, and in answering this question, the author can create incredibly interesting scenes and settings for events in their tales. Maybe someone is planning on starting a riot during the yearly bonfire by the waterways of the megacity's ghettos. What drugs, alcohol, and music get played at this event? Or maybe the city lords have a yearly tradition of holding a masked party every year in which all the attendees must keep their identities secret from one another. At the event, someone has plotted the assassination of the well-meaning prefect who is running for office. Maybe our heroes are here to foil the plot, or are at the center of it. It is important to note that there is no surefire right or wrong approach to world building. As a rule of thumb, I feel that if the answers to these questions are helping generate more stories and content, that I'm generally doing something right. The final question I like to ask myself while world building is, where do we go when we die? Is there an afterlife, real or merely believed? Where do the souls of the dead go after they die? Is there a religious body that takes care of all this, or are the dead just cremated in the morgue at the Bureau of Recycling? Funerary practices are one of the many things that distinguish societies, and they all come into being for vastly different reasons. A city populated by billions might cremate all their dead with very little ceremony, while the druids of the forest nation might plant seedlings in their newly dead so that they grow into new trees. Is there an afterlife? Are the sinners sent to a horrible place, or does everyone get reincarnated? If there is a good afterlife and a bad afterlife, what deeds or misdeeds leads one to either of these places? Now, it is important to note that none of these beliefs need to be real for the characters to believe them. Even in our world, no one can truly prove the existence or lack thereof of a super being. Does this prevent people from believing? Of course not, as it is a matter of faith. This can also be the case in fantasy and science fiction. An author can create numerous religions and beliefs, and at the end of it can turn out that none of it was real at all. That really isn't the point. What does matter, what makes for interesting character traits is, do the people in your story believe? Are there holy trinkets? What makes them that way? What are the symbols of faith in this world? Why are they symbols of faith in the first place? Who or what do they represent? Is death the domain of religion? Are there gods who bring souls to the other side? Or is this all a myth, a carefully crafted and kept secret from the people? If so, why? You can see again by answering these questions, we find that numerous plot threads for an interesting tale can be found. And that is the main reason an author should answer these questions, preferably before putting pen to paper. If you like what you've heard so far and you like what I'm producing, please like and subscribe to this video. I will be posting these weekly. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. And if you want to get into contact me, follow me on my site, www.davilahthewhite.com. In love, light, and laughter, be well.